Ho, 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 ho! Welcome to the Tales from the Crawl Space Ask Us Anything Christmas Show! Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Welcome to Tales from the Crawl Space Podcast. I'm Jack, and across the desk and half across the United States is Brad.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, you know I love them hoes.
That's right.
And speaking of hoes, Danny's not here today. Danny's got some prior obligations to handle, so Danny won't be with us for the Christmas show, but I know he still wants to heft your sack full of gifts.
And I would let him do that readily. Yeah. See, what Jack's not letting everybody know is Danny is actually one of Santa's secret elves. Uh-huh. And, Santa has some special toys that he delivers to some of the good girls and boys, the really good girls and boys. And Danny models for him. So he's busy in the modeling room. And pretty soon, he'll be able to, wash the silicone off of it and be back with us.
It's that Glamour Shots session with that penis-shaped candy cane.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's the one.
Well, tonight's show, and we're sorry that we're a little delayed on the show. Friday sounded like a train wreck, and then the whole software system got fucked up on us, so we had to just cut our losses and start again. So here we are, starting again, but it's Ask Us Anything and our Christmas show.
That's right, Jack.
It's not a big, huge Christmas show, but I do have to do my little Christmas story for everybody. And I ran it by my office manager at the time, and she's like, that is fucking dead on. So
cannot wait.
So we'll be doing that. But Ask Us Anything. I know the Pest Control Humor Depot came to the rescue like they always do, because I love those fucking cheese bags. So let us know. So tell us all about that, Mr. Pest Control Humor Depot Overlord.
Okay, a couple weeks ago we put it out to the depot. Hey guys, ask us anything. And in typical cheese bag fashion, you fuckers asked us damn near anything. And there is only, I've got a nice list here, and only 2 of them I think have absolutely something to do with pest control.
That's exactly what I was expecting and hoping for.
Yeah. So the first one we're going to start with is from Patrick Nita Diaz. Okay, I see the name Patrick Nita. Somebody fucked up on social media, so now they have to include their girlfriend on it. Yeah, so Patrick and Nita ask, do you think cockroaches really come from the neighbor next door?
Well, my first question is, which one of you two cheated? That's my first question.
I've been married for 35 years. Ain't nobody that close, man. Separate social media accounts, separate bank accounts. Happily married, 35 years.
That hot damn. But okay, as far as Donnie and Marie Pest Control is concerned, the roaches always come from next door. Because, hey, we're treating Mrs. Robinson next door. And once we get that done, they're all coming to your house. So we might want to take care of your house as well. That's a common sales trick from Donnie and Marie.
And the whole time they're balancing on their hoverboards, asking you that question.
With their stick of chalk in their hand, just waiting to put that check mark near your mailbox.
Yeah. I think, didn't hobos do that in the Great Depression? They put like certain marks on posts, and it's like, yeah, this guy's an asshole, don't stop here. This guy,
Or Angry Dog or Free Food. I watched a documentary about that. That was actually pretty cool. But yeah, Donnie and Marie do that to a much more religious, cultish extent.
Yeah, everything I know about the hobos in the Great Depression, I learned from watching an episode of Mad Men.
Oh, Mr. John Hamm is schooling you on the hobos.
Absolutely. Good old Don Draper himself.
Nice. Very nice. Well, he's in love with Flo from Progressive now, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. He is. Can you blame him, though? I mean, come on, it's Flo.
Sometimes you just want to bang the happiness out of her. I mean, that's
exactly
like a challenge, and see that really bright red lipstick, how much farther down your junk you could lick your ring.
Definitely got the whitest teeth that anyone's ever come across. Okay. Dude. Okay. I'm going to answer the question too. Do you think cockroaches really come from the neighbor next door? Yes, they do, and they usually start in the bedroom. I did give that answer one time. Somebody said, I think they got them from the next door. I said, why? Did they start in the bedroom? I lost that customer.
The only roaches I got, if I was a pot smoker, I'd use the jokes that the only roaches I have are in my ashtray. But I don't, because that shit makes me feel weird. So,
Jack, I'm stunned. I thought you were just up there with Cheech and Chong on the consumption of cannabis sativa.
No. I tell you, I had gotten a jar of this THC Delta 8 CBD oil, and I just thought it was straight up CBD because my shoulder was bothering me, and I'm a big dude. I'm like, hey, I'll take 2 droppers worth instead of 1. Boy, that was a mistake.
Yeah, my dad had just got done having some surgery. He was in a lot of pain, and I said, why don't you try one of my CBD gummies? And yeah, that was a Delta 8. My 83-year-old dad. I got my 83-year-old dad high, Jack. And here's the thing. Back when I was in high school, we were sitting on the patio at lunchtime, me and a couple of buds, just enjoying a doobie and, making a transaction. And my dad decided to come home from work, and he opened up the sliding door. I looked at him, and to this day, he's 83 years old. He forgets a lot. He fucking remembers this because he's like, Brad, the look on your face when I opened that thing and you saw my eyes. I said, Dad, I've done a lot of magnificent things in my life, and this is the damn thing you remember. He goes, I can't help it. It was just too cool. This is like, okay, great. So exactly. Fast forward 40 some years, I finally got him back for it. So,
but did he enjoy it?
He did not, and that was much to my chagrin because I find that CBD and some of the analogs that are available now. Thank you, Donald Trump, for the Hemp Act of 2018. Have really helped me without having me to rely on a lot of NSAIDs, which wreck your kidneys and your liver and so forth, and also relying on any type of narcotic opiates, which, have their own set of problems, as a lot of you out there, I'm sure, can understand. We do a lot of physical work. Our knees hurt, our back hurt, our ass muscles hurt. That's a phenomenon that I call bait butt from having to bend down and check all these fucking stations all the time. To reach for a narcotic is a really tempting thing to do. It's very tantalizing because they do the trick. Trouble is, they grab you. So, I find that the cannabinoids that are out now are just basically wonderful because of the good job they do on us, and there's not really any type of addictive qualities to them. Some people do get psychologically addicted to them, and they're going to do that with anything. But I think it's not a panacea, but I think it's a great thing to have in the arsenal.
Well, I got to tell you, because that stuff, it just, no matter what type it is or whatever it is, oh man, this is indica. It means in the couch, it'll relax you. It makes me paranoid, so I can't do it. But I tell you, between Blue Emu and getting my large ass into the bathtub with Epsom salts, that does wonders for me. All that magnesium, oh boy, yeah, it works out for me.
Exactly, I can tell you another big advantage to having this having these hemp derived cannabinoids available to us is the fact that they're regulated quite heavily. I know of a couple of PCOs that do facilities that grow, process, and all the hemp and cannabis. And you look at you go through these places and you look at them and you're seeing some really clean, well maintained environments. I know that they have the same pest control protocols and scopes of service that food places do. On a lot of them. So, it's a really good, I think it's a really good thing. So, if you go with a reputable, dealer, you're going to get something that's going to be safe and also quality.
Yeah. Your plug down the street might not be as hygienic, but
Exactly. Yeah. It all depends if you want to go to bed or you want to go to the moon. Usually some of us just want to get a good night's sleep.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, okay, enough weed talk for I don't want this to turn into a cushion coffee joint, but
no, we're not doing that one.
No, absolutely. Okay, so hope we answered both your questions, Patrick and Nita. Okay, let's go with
mine wasn't answered. Mine wasn't answered.
You're about the cheating.
Yeah, I want to know who cheated.
I think we're going to have to draw our own conclusions on that one, Jack.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
It's always the penis. It's always the penis.
It is. Yeah, it's all about the dick. Okay, let's go to Brandon Norquist. Brandon asks, why do I have hair growing in weird places?
Well, they always said that if you masturbate too much, that you'll grow little red hairs on your hand. So if that's the weird place you're talking about, you need to put the penis down. You need to just, masturbate a little bit less. And cough button.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Better.
All right, you're back with us. Good.
Yes. Masturbation. That's why it's masturbation. It's
masturbation.
Masturbation.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, Brandon, why do you think you have a weird place on your body anyway? I mean, let's face it. The body is a playground. It is an amusement park. And
I usually treat myself like one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to really explore the space. It's like, and once you do it for 9 or 7 or 800 times, you'll realize, this isn't weird.
And then it's a lot more fun when someone else lets you explore their space.
You know what, Jack? You're absolutely right. It is.
Which is maybe what that last dude did. That's why he's got a joint Facebook account.
Yeah, that's the best part about being a guy is, one way or another, you get laid or not, you're still going to be okay.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to ride that who cheated train for the rest of the show.
See, there you go.
That's just funny. I'm gonna find a way to work that in. So
yeah. Okay. As far as the hair growing in weird places, Brandon, you're probably just getting old. It's like I've got ear hair that you wouldn't believe. I don't grow like hairs. I grow stalks.
Oh, I can comb the shit. I know what you mean.
And don't get me started on my nostrils. Yeah. If you want to feign emotion, all you have to do is pluck one of them fuckers and the tears come flowing down.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. And, I've been asking, it's Christmas time. I've been asking Santa for a nose and ear hair trimmer for the last 10 years. I haven't got it yet. Santa, what the fuck? Danny, if you're up there at the North Pole, creating molds for dildos and whatnot, do me a favor, put in a good word for the fat guy. I need a fucking nose hair trimmer.
Oh yeah, and I need some of that stuff that removes the hair from your butt crack because some of these turds like ripping them out on the way out. So I need some of that.
Okay, well, that's what teeth are made for, Jack.
That's between you and Danny.
I don't know. I think Danny's still too young to be that hairy. Alex Williams asks, hey, Brad, Jack, and sometimes Danny, are there any foods that have been ruined for you by doing pest control?
Okay. Soy sauce for me.
Soy sauce.
Yes. There's a Asian restaurant in Winchester, Virginia that they brew their own soy sauce down in the basement. And when I'd go down there to do the service, there were a bunch of dead cockroaches floating in these 50-gallon drums of soy sauce. And they took that little wire basket with a bamboo handle that they used to get the egg rolls out of the hot oil. And they'd use that to sieve them out of the soy sauce before they started filling their bottles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Get a little extra something with your soy sauce. So it's ruined soy sauce for me.
I don't have a cough button, Jack. So everybody's just gonna have to bear with me. Oh, Lord. Okay, Danny. During our previous shit casserole episode, which was the one we tried to record for this one, Danny said curry, and I could not agree more with Danny on that one.
Oh no, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah, curry is I mean, I was always on the fence with curry. The only time I liked curry when I was younger was my grandma Swales made this wonderful pecan, at Christmas time. She made a glazed pecan and it had just a pinch of curry in it, and that was just enough to just pull it all together. It was really wonderful. But now I always associate curry with gnarly hotels, and it's always mixed in with the undertone of the smell of feet.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
really
sure.
put me off of curry. Now that was Danny's. Mine was mole. I was doing a Mexican grocery store, and all Mexican grocery stores pretty much have a lunch counter, so everybody, the workers can come in, everybody can come in and get them a little something to eat. Big old thing of mole sauce going there. Had the peppers, the chocolate, and everything like that. This dude is just working it, stirring it up, making sure it doesn't scorch at the bottom. And it's a hot summer day, and that dude is sweating his ass off, and I see about 3 drops of sweat going in that fucking mole. I was done. And then, he's splashing it everywhere. I look under the thing. It's not only that splash mole under the stove. There's the crust of splash mole from the last 20 years under there. Roaches are crawling everywhere, and they wonder why they got roaches. And I can pretty much believe that roaches had probably fallen into that mole at one time, and then they grab that big old kitchen dildo that they stick in and blend everything up with. And I'm sure there's roach chunks floating around there somewhere. Now mole is one thing. There's one thing that I will never get sick of, regardless of how disgusting I find the kitchen that it's being cooked in and the employees that are cooking it, is anything cooked in lard.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't be averse to that. It's just, I rationalize it as, that's going about 375, 400 degrees. It's going to fucking kill anything in there. And it's still going to be delicious. So, you whip me out a hot chicharron and you fucking let that thing sit on a filthy paper towel for at least 5 minutes to drain some of that shit off. I am so all over that.
Well, see that, and I agree with you. 1,000%, I'm with you. Being cooked in lard. I mean, I want to feel my arteries harden while I eat something. That's right. That's the best part. But rationalizing it like that is like saying, "Hey, if I spit on this toilet seat and wipe it off with toilet paper, it's completely sanitary for me to sit on."
Don't break my pretty balloon, Jack. I'm sorry. Yeah, words are worthless on this one. Sorry, man. Yeah. You cook it in lard. I'm sorry if it comes off the fat of something with a snout and a curly tail. I'm down to clown.
Oh no, yeah. My grandmother always had that ancient Maxwell House metal coffee can full of bacon grease just sitting on the stove waiting for whatever she was going to cook. So,
yeah, and it is the holiday season, and one of the things that really in some of the some homes that are being cooked during the holiday season. And it's one thing I can never get on board with, and it's the one part of the pig I won't eat, and that is chitterlings.
Oh my God! And the thing is, you have to go through the whole bucket and clean the rest of the turds out before you even cook them. I've heard the stories. I mean, if there's a food source that I actually have to clean literal shit out of before I cook it, let's just save myself all the time and trouble and just throw the entire fucking bucket in the trash.
Yeah, I was watching Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern one night, and he was eating the bowel of a swine bowel at one time, and he bit into it, and he bites in it a couple times, and he smiles and looks at the guy who cooked it and said, "That one still had a round in the chamber." It's like, oh.
That tastes like shit.
Yeah, but if anybody's ever been on Andrew Zimmern's Twitter, you would know that guy does enjoy eating pig shit.
Yeah, but I would think being on someone's Twitter is a lot different than being on their Twitter.
Yeah, you know what, Jack? This episode has been brought to you by Maker's Mark.
That's the way we like it. We still have to do the inebriated termite episode sometime soon.
Yes, we do. I'm getting, I may have to take mescaline for that one because it's the holidays. I've been hitting the bottle kind of hard.
Hey, more power to you, man. More power to you.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Patrick and Nita. I didn't thank you before. Russell Goswiller. Okay, this Russell Goswiller, if you don't know him from Pest Control Humor Depot, you may know him from his TikToks videos. He is a man of vengeance. He is the warrior. He is the one that is on the crusade of contempt against the six-legged Jezebels of the sky.
Oh yes, those epic stories he does. Those are awesome.
This guy, oh my gosh! Every time this guy gets on and starts talking, I instantly moisten up.
Moist.
I'm moister than an oyster. So anyway, so Russell asks, so I got one nut now. As many of you know about my battle with cancer, and we do, and Russell, my hat's off to you for that. You're
damn right.
You're kicking the multi-celled, Jezebels of the body. But he goes, he's talking about, he goes on to describe his nut, describing that it is really big. And he asks, what's the best way for me to crawl around attics and crawl spaces without catching it on anything?
And you want to field this one first?
Yes, I do. Russell, I would say, the best defense against ball drag is tighty whities. And I think you would just look adorable in them. But they're going to be covered with pants, so it's no big deal. I'm sorry, whether it's one or two, your boys have to have a house. So I would say, something that's snug, but not confining. Something that won't cause any folds to the skin, because those can be irritating after a couple of hours of walking around houses and businesses and whatnot. Give them some support. They're those balls are there for you, so be sure that you're there to support them. Wear something a little snug, and it doesn't have to be snug all around. It doesn't have to be snug on the ass or the waist or anything, but just make sure those boys have the support that they are so desperately needing in times like this.
I think that is fine advice. A little different than mine, but you might like mine, so check mine out.
Bring it.
And then I have a question for this gentleman as well, but my advice is this. Get yourself a Crown Royal bag, because they're purple. They're really soft, and they have They have that drawstring, so you can tuck your boy up in the Crown Royal bag, which is baggy enough to handle that big old doodad. Now, but see, if you take the advice for the guy with the hair and with the masturbation, you might be able to decrease the size of that doodad a little bit. But if not, just slip it up there and use that drawstring to tie it to your belt or whatever, so you have this luxurious royal purple sack for your sack. And I think it'd be perfect and stylish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Jack. But I got to ask you about I got to go back to the part where you said making it smaller. Why would anybody want to do that? Why would you want to catch a 12-pound bass and then take it to the taxidermist and ask him, hey, make this look like an 8-pound one?
That's a good question. I'm just trying to get the guy laid. Come on.
Oh man!
But my question for you, sir, is: when you ride a bicycle, does it sit up on the seat, or does it flop to the left side or the right side? I mean, does it sit unicycle, right on the seat with you? I mean, I want to ask Lance Armstrong, but I can't really get a hold of him. But this guy, I've got a shot at getting an answer from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Russell will be more than glad to answer that for you, Jack. Just go to Pest Control Humor Depot and ask him that question. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to answer it for you. As for riding a bike, I'd say one of the, because they do have those baskets that go on the rear of the seat. I think if he just kind of just draped it over his left or right leg, his choice, and laid it in the basket, it would be snug, it would be comfy, and it would be safe.
Or just slide it up past the taint, let it look like a gigantic hemorrhoid out the back.
Yeah. Oh, Jack, if you haven't seen the one I put on yesterday, of the bull walking down the street.
Oh yeah.
I immediately thought of Russell.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I think we're swanging.
Oh my God. I was like, how did that I'm trying to figure out how that bull even walked.
I know I wouldn't be walking. I'd be laying down with my legs spread.
I can sympathize. At the house at Stately Harvey Manor, our vehicle fleet includes a 2002 Honda Accord, and it's got it. Getting into that fucker, I sit on them damn things every time.
Yeah, that's sitting on your nuts. That's something that happens when you get. Have you ever seen the advertisement for the nut bra?
No.
I'll have to send that to you. It's a parody commercial of this old Jewish guy going, "God damn it, I sat on my nuts again." Introducing the nut bra. Just put a leg in each hole and slip it up, and then you hear a kabloomf. God damn it, my nuts fell in the toilet again. You know.
God damn, I'm so glad I'm on vacation. Okay. Anyway, Russell, always thank you for your question and keep up the crusade. Looking forward to next year's season when we can hear more about your crusade of contempt.
Definitely, Russell. I'm looking forward to an answer about that question about riding a bike.
All right. Let's move on into absolutely. Let's move on into the Christmas arena here. Candace Renee, our Pest Control Humor Depot's safety director, glove up, you cheese bags. If Santa knows when we are good or bad, how come he didn't know Rudolph was being bullied?
I think I think when he's so preoccupied with getting things ready for Christmas and, molesting the elves and things like that, some things kind of fall by the wayside. And, if you're living in a cave far away from the actual North Pole building, it's, if you don't see it, you can't really call it out. So, that's what I think. I just think it was, not being there to see it, really.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Santa Claus is in a bit of a managerial position. So, he's got a lot of shit going on. He's got a lot of shit in his basket. So, unless someone comes up to him with a grievance or a comment or a complaint, he's not going to actually know what's going on. Because, for one thing, he does have a boss. And anybody that's married knows that fucking boss is Mrs. Claus.
Oh, yeah.
And, Santa only, Santa, as far as his wife, he only comes once a year and it's down the chimney. So, so I would say the answer is because Rudolph didn't have the big ball that Russell Goswiller has to take it to Santa and say, you know what, I got a problem here. It's affecting my work. And, I think Santa just didn't fucking know about it. Now, on the other hand, Thomas Coakley did reply to Candace on this and said, maybe he just didn't give a shit. That's also a possibility. It is.
Yeah. And I tell you, if I'm taking it according to the Rankin Bass 1960s stop motion animation, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I really think he should have delegated more responsibility to Comet, because that dude's around there with the ball cap telling everybody how to fly and everything anyway. So he's there. He should delegate more responsibility to Comet.
Yeah. Speaking of that story, the Rankin Bass version, I had a suggestion when my wife was pregnant, and as fate would have it, we had a daughter. But if it was a boy, you need to name him Yukon Cornelius.
Oh, that guy was the grandfather of Fuck Around and Find Out.
Absolutely.
He had a revolver, a knife, and a pickaxe out within arm's reach at all times. That man was all about Fuck Around and Find Out, especially when it came to the Bumble.
I'm worried about you, Jack. You know way too much about that movie.
I have a lot of time on my hands.
I get Yukon. I remember Yukon Cornelius and his lovable gruff manners, but I don't remember the fucking weaponry he had on him.
Oh, that dude, he was ready. Hey, when you got to deal with the Bumble, you got to be ready.
That's a good point. So, Candace, thank you as always for your questions, and thank you for your contributions to Pest Control Humor Depot. And
yeah, and you notice Candace doesn't have a joint Facebook account, so that says everything.
She does not. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, she got to be swamped with creeps. So, okay. Sarah Ambrosio. Personal assistant to Jack Starry,
and the future co-host for another podcast that's going to be coming up.
I cannot fucking wait. I mean, if she is aligned with you in any way, shape, or form, she has got to be sick. And I love it.
Here's a quick shameless plug. We are in the planning stages. Sarah Ambrosio is an erotic author, a published erotic author. And when I say erotic, this isn't just he inserted his penis into her vagina. No, she gets all kinds of freaky with it, and it's great shit. You can find her literature all over the internet. Just look for her name. But her and I are gonna have a podcast called Erotic Expositions. And she's going to have a lot of other erotic authors on, and it's going to be stuff about kink, BDSM, stuff like that, all kinds of interesting things. So I guess she picked me because I have knowledge of how to do a podcast, and I have no filter. So
for future reference, Jack, I will probably never be able to guest on that because I will be too busy listening to it. In order to make any contribution to a future episode of that. Okay. Anyway, Sayer, I don't know you. I've never seen your work. I love you already. Okay. And this question she directed to Jack Starry, but I am going to be the disobedient sub and answer it as well. What's the best horror movie about pest overall? The most extreme or the worst?
I think it's arachnophobia, like the scene where the millions of spiders coming out, and spiders don't bother me at all. I mean, I had a brown recluse mama with her babies on her back go down the back of my shirt. So if I didn't have a heart attack from that, I'm pretty good with spiders. But I think for most people, the creepiness factor has a lot to do with it. And I think that either Brad's got some reindeer running around in his house, or he's out squatting in the lawn alongside of his dog pooping.
Dude, that is my buddy boy Max. I usually do the podcast with the door of Cheesebag Studios closed, but my wife is off doing water aerobics, so my buddy boy Max is in here helping me out.
Awesome,
and
Max.
to give you an idea of Max, the original show, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the dog that's in.
Get you that single branch looking antler thing and put it on Max's head and get a picture.
I've been looking all over for a branch that would be the perfect fit.
That would be awesome.
Still looking. The minute I do, I'll get it out.
Perfect.
Anyway, my two, and I'm just going to say the titles and the people that, some of the actors in it, and I'm not going to say any more about it because I want you guys to get out and actually watch these movies. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to be any, put out any spoilers or whatnot. Okay, my first one would be Graveyard Shift, Stephen King's Graveyard Shift.
Oh yeah.
And Brad Dourif plays the pest control technician in this particular movie, and the monologue that he delivers during this movie is one that it's almost perfect. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I had to take a quick drink. In its execution, and also in kind of how it fleshes out what this guy's got going on between his ears.
Right.
That's one. My second one would be Naked Lunch, and it's based on a book by, I believe, William Burroughs. And Peter Weller is the pest control technician in this one. That's really all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that they are both very disturbing movies. They're very dark, and being Stephen, the first one, Stephen King, it's fucking dark.
Oh
it's always,
yeah.
Stephen King is always dark. And but Naked Lunch, I would have to say maybe get a drink. Take a couple of hits off something, eat a gummy before you watch it. And yeah, it's really weird. So those are my two.
I have not seen Naked Lunch, but I am definitely going to find it and watch it for sure. Because I'll tell you, Peter Weller just has this creepiness factor to him. Anyways.
Peter Weller, without having served in the military, has a 1,000-yard stare that he delivers in whatever movie he's in. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I think the most.
But you know what? Brad Dourif is the same way. Brad Dourif is the same way. He's got that look in his eyes, like there's something going on with this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he looks like he looks like he could be a secondary character in a fucking Days of the New video.
Oh wow, that's a throwback.
Don't get me started, man. Travis Meeks and Days of the New, I love them. And what do you wish someone would write?
Is it that's also from Sarah?
Yes.
What are we? Oh, well, there's all kinds of creepy porn that can be going on with that type of thing. I think sometimes the scare factor and the excited factor kind of go hand in hand. So I think the possibilities are endless, absolutely endless. But I really do think that something from like a termite swarm from hell, or like a Chernobyl termite swarm, these gigantic swarmers coming out would be pretty cool.
For me, it would be somebody that has been in the business for a while, that has seen a lot. The dark, it's something I would like to get out to the general public. Would be somebody that had seen the dark how being a pest control technician exposes you to the dark, dank underbelly of humanity. The poverty, the drug abuse, murder. Just really, deep stuff. Something that makes people think. I don't have any hopes of this ever changing anything, but I want everybody to know this shit is fucking out there, and we deal with it for the money that we get paid for it.
Oh yeah, and reality stranger.
Some of us go into some of our days, and I don't mean to bring the episode down, but some of us come into our days where we see dead bodies, we see drug abuse, we see abused children, we see things that are pathetic, we see underage whores, we see all this stuff, and you think you're going to fucking smooth it over with a goddamn pizza party? I'm sorry, it's not going to fucking happen. But and this is stuff that people need to hear. Upton Sinclair wrote a piece back in the early 20th century called "The Jungle," where he describes the conditions of meat processing plants in, I believe, Chicago, definitely a good read. But you lighting up there, Jack?
Yes, sir.
All right, what do you smoke?
Lucky Strike Reds.
Lucky Strike, it's toasted.
Lucky Strike needs fine tobacco.
There you go. But anyway, that's kind of what I want to see. If there was anything that somebody would write, it would be like like something to that.
Like a docudrama where it could, because reality is stranger than fiction, especially.
Exactly. Something to get those Karens out there that worry about an ant crawling across their fucking mailbox. Something to think about.
Oh yeah, like inner city Baltimore with the rats and everything. I mean, you got a little kid sitting on the floor eating food out of the carpet, and there's this massive fucking rat coming in around the AC unit. So and I've seen it. I've watched it happen. So yeah.
And the only thing that we're expected to do about it is to set some fucking traps or bait stations out for it. Maybe shove some steel wool in a hole or something.
Right.
The bosses get shitty if we try to report this or try to get some attention to it or try to get some help for these people and stuff like that. The fucking bosses don't like that. And it pisses me off. Oh my God,
yes, exactly. No, I've butted heads with a couple bosses because of that. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Danny, you need to come back quick because every episode that you're not in gets really dark.
It does. It gets, morose and deep and everything. And Danny needs to bring the lightness to the show.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, okay. Now let's move on.
Coming up.
All right. Coming up, let's try to find something funny. Okay, Michael Castillo asks, where's the most surprising place any of you guys have found a sex toy?
I have found them in attics. Looks like they were used and left aside. Well, someone left the attic. I don't know why else there'd be a dildo in an attic. I've seen under the couch in a living room, when I pulled the couch out to try to get along the baseboards, there was one of those silicone butthole and vaginas under the couch.
I think you took a picture of that and put it on, didn't you?
No. I did the video.
Who the hell did that?
a coworker when I was up in Pennsylvania found the dildo in the crawl space. And the funny thing about that was it was I don't know if she was a widower or what. No, it can't be. That was all the guns. But she was like, "Did you check everything?" He's like, "Yes, ma'am." "Did you check the crawl space?" Because it was one of those elevated crawls in the basement where it's kind of like the ledge you have to crawl up into, you know?
Michigan ledge, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yes, ma'am, I checked everything." She goes, "Are you sure you checked everything?" And he didn't take advantage of the situation, probably because of all the guns that were in the basement. I think that'd be a deterrent, because if he got caught, I think he knew exactly what was going to happen to him. But believe me, I think the opportunity was there.
I would believe it was, yeah. Opportunity he may have missed. Yeah. You know, you got to ask yourself some questions. It's like, is it worth my job? And is the customer hot? So,
yeah, and but I tell you, there's some people that, you know, there's any port in a storm. If you got that one gigantic testicle that you haven't relieved the pressure from, sometimes you got to take one for the team.
That's right, absolutely. Yep. So I would say the most surprising place I ever found. I don't know if it was surprising or not, as much as it was, you know, the logistics that the guy went through to put it in there.
Wow.
You know, south side of Indianapolis. I'm doing this apartment complex. I go into this apartment. It's, you know, a rather large man, kind of, you know, I would say probably mid to late 30s. He's sitting there. Yeah, go ahead, help you. I'm here to treat your apartment. Yeah, go ahead, help yourself. Go into the kitchen, do my thing. Go over to his window, you know, his exterior window in the living room. Check it out. Do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I go into the bathroom. I open I always open the medicine cabinet up because I want to see what kind of drugs people are on. And not only that, but there's a little, you know, in some of the older places, there's a little slot in the back of the medicine cabinet where people would drop their razor blades into the wall void.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I open this thing up, and to my horror, before me is a dildo. And I will not forget, it was a fluorescent orange dildo. Okay. It was like a safety dildo. You know, if your dildo needs to be seen, you want to go with safety orange.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're jackhammering yourself in the doo-doo hole and while you're deer hunting, you need that blaze orange dildo.
Either that, or while the guy was using it, he had a black light on, so it would kind of strobe, you know, when
now you see it.
Going
now you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you don't.
It's like
boots and pants.
So anyway, but the thing that really, you know, I'd seen dildos in medicine cabinets, and bathroom cabinets, and under, you know, in kitchen cabinets, and that one I don't want to know about. But
yeah, no.
This particular device was extended from the lower right corner of the medicine cabinet and went diagonally all the way up to the upper left corner of the medicine cabinet. And this was a big fucking medicine cabinet, guys.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. And so I sneak around it to apply some product into the wall void, because that's my fucking job. And I slowly and softly closed the medicine cabinet, because I didn't want to put the guy on the spot and embarrass him, thinking, yeah, I'm in his medicine cabinet. I'm going to go blam. Yeah, I saw your fucking big orange dick. So I go back.
You might want to wash that before you use it again.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that when they go into an apartment, a home, or whatnot, I'm looking at one thing and one thing only: conducive conditions. I don't give a shit what pictures they have hanging on the wall or anything like that. But after that, I was curious. I walk out of the guy's bathroom and I'm looking at his walls, and I see posters and pictures of Prince William. Yes, the Prince William of England. What the fuck is he now? The Prince of Wales. You know, second in line to the British throne, if you give a shit about stuff like that.
Right.
Plastered all over his wall. And they were and being this period of time, this was a while back. I've been in this business longer than most of you fuckers have been alive. Mm-hmm. This was when he was like, you know, 13, 14 years old. It was sick. Creepy. It was creepy as fuck. You know, for one thing, I don't think Prince William at 14 years old is going to have a 24-inch long dick, but it was just really bizarre. So I finished my job, I closed the door, and I immediately, after I got done with my day, I went into the office and I fucking told everybody about it.
You should see what I saw.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody knows, anybody that's worked a day in their life in this business knows that when you get back to the tech room at the end of the day, you're going to fucking unload. Oh, it's like, what did you see today? This is what, check this out, guys. So, yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty disturbing. So,
yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. Eddie Gill, again, thank you everybody for your contributions to tonight's podcast via Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook. Wink, wink.
Definitely.
And Eddie Gill asks, "What's the best professional way to say go fuck yourself?" Jack, I will let you start.
I'm going to elevate this to upper management.
Oh, you fucker! You took my answer.
but see, we both been doing it long enough that is the apex answer for that. That's the whole
absolutely
thing.
Yeah. I mean, I worded it a little differently and said I'm going to escalate this issue to our general operations manager. He will be contacting you shortly.
But basically, you're saying I'm fucking done with you.
Pretty much, and then if you have like half a heart, you're gonna go to the ops manager and say, "Hey, dude, I got this problem here." What'd you tell him? I said, "Well, I tell him you talk to him." He said, "What the fuck you do that for?"
Well, I mean, and I think every pest control tech worth their salt or with enough experience learns how to tell people that they're nasty in the nicest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I with what I'm putting out here, if there's a preferential food source and you kind of wave your hand over the entire stove, backsplash, sink, and kitchen, if there's a preferential food source, my bait is not going to be as accepted. And you're saying your fucking kitchen's disgusting and you're a nasty piece of shit, so my treatment's not going to do a goddamn thing. It's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it, and a lot of it is about shit that you don't even have control over.
Right.
The places where you have to say go fuck yourself or something. It's not in your wheelhouse. It's not in your pay grade. It's nothing that you have anything to do with. One of them is for those companies that actually have somebody else do the scheduling other than the technician themselves. It's like, you guys were just here 3 weeks and 6 days ago. Why are you here now? We're supposed to be done on a monthly basis.
No,
it's one fucking day, you asshole, is basically what you want to tell them.
Yeah.
Right now, this time of year, I'm out running stuff because we're down a guy. And I'm just like, it was 3 weeks ago. Well, we're moving things up because of the holidays. And they're like, it's cool. You can only get away with that in December. It's like, but I would say probably the best professional way to say go fuck yourself. Jack and I agree. It would be to escalate it to those who you report to. If it's just the basic unprofessional way, it's just straight out tell them to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, if it's a customer you really don't want to keep and you're not going to get fired, hey, I'm done.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to take inventory of how this is going to shake out if you actually tell them to go fuck yourself, and if the odds are in your favor, dude, just tell them to go fuck yourself. Be done with it.
I've actually had technicians come to me, and this customer's had a history of being a massive pain in the ass all the time, and we were just looking for a reason to let them go, and we really don't care how we dealt with it, just as long as we let them go. And I'm like, dude, just fucking tell them. I don't care.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get in trouble. When they call here, I've got your back. You're not going to get in trouble. So if you want to tell them to go fuck themselves, you go right on ahead and tell them to go fuck themselves, and I got you. And we'll cancel. They'll be canceled by the time you get back to the shop.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to go back to Alex Williams now. He is, for some of you who have really short-term memory because you're using all the stuff that's, now legal due to the Hemp Act of 2018. He asks, what's your go-to solution wise when the treatment doesn't work and you've applied correctly using the correct chemical?
Should I say IPM just to piss everybody off?
No, I was going to say, why don't you just tell them go fuck yourself?
That's another one. Hand them advertisements for house cleaning companies, biohazard, reclamation. I guess. I mean, some places are just so fucking nasty. No matter how you treat, like I said, with all this preferential food source, my treatment's going to be ineffective.
My answer to that, and it is for the guys who have been here for a minute and know exactly, the difference between right and wrong, is think outside the box. And if you are working for a company that does not allow you to think outside the box, so long as it is not illegal, immoral, fattening, cancerous, or offensive, then you are working for the wrong company.
The label's the law, but be as creative as you can within that boundary of the law.
There you go, Jack. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is there are so many different ways to apply a product or a technique that is not spelled out in black or white, that you can actually get the job done. And, if it's, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not going to go into technical specifics here, but, a lot of this job, yes, we do have to obey the label. Yes, we do have to obey company policy. But I'm sorry, if something I can do on the label goes against company policy, but it's going to help the customer out and solve a problem, I'm sorry, company, you don't stand a fucking chance in this argument.
Yep, fight me in court. We'll see how that works out.
Absolutely. Do you want me to take care of the problem, or do you want me to toe the company line? It's that simple. And then
I've got Termidor inside. Don't do
exactly inside. And I know there's a lot of you folks out there that have an issue with you've got a great idea. It's legal. It's moral. It's not cancerous. It's not fattening. But you want to try it anyway. You run it up to your superiors, and they're shooting it down for whatever reason. Be it, it may cost them an extra $5 or $6. It may just be, an alpha wolf thing where they don't want to fucking think that make you think that you actually have good ideas and they got all the good ideas or anything like that. And you do it, guys. Do it anyway.
Well, I'll tell you.
Anyway. Because if you're 100% sure that that's going to solve the problem, and you end up being the hero regardless.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. If you have a service manager who's going to shoot down you being creative within the boundary of the label, he's not much of a service manager, because I know he doesn't want you wasting money and time on a callback, which you will have, rather than getting creative and getting the fucking job done the first time. It's not much of a service manager if he's not like, fuck yeah, man, give it a try.
And it's only a problem if they ask about it. If they don't know about it at all, it's not a problem.
Nope, that's true. All they know is that the job's taken care of and everybody's happy. And, if everybody's happy, everybody's happy.
Yep, there you go. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. Okay, Alex, you were made of questions. You did ask, what time is group masturbation? And the only answer I have for that is, what time is it, Alex?
Fucking 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. As long as you can reach it, it's masturbation time.
That's right. Any time is masturbation time.
There you go. Okay. I think that pretty much runs. Thomas Nason asks, my question is, can I go home now? Nope, not yet. We still got another 7 minutes of the podcast left to go.
Did you call and schedule your customers for next week? And then you still gotta stick around.
That's right. Did you call your delinquent accounts? Nope, you got to stay here. Yeah. There's some leftover Danish from this morning. Go ahead and get you some of that, and then get on the fucking phone.
Right. Exactly. Now I know when we did the train wreck of a podcast attempt for this show, we had a question about the creepiest house you've been in, and I got 2 little quick blurbs for that. And you made me think of one with pictures of Prince William. A couple years ago, I had this house, which I was warned about this guy being a registered. There's the train. You had to mention the train, and there it is.
The Tales from the Crawl Space Express is now boarding.
Yeah. But I was warned about this one customer, and when I was treating his house, they said he was an offender. And so when I went down to the basement, this guy was doing oil paintings of little girls. Lots of oil paintings.
Oh.
And
Jesus.
And they were all over the place. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he was like the kind that hangs over your shoulder the whole time. Oh yes, that one. I'd love doing that one. And I'm thinking, you motherfucker, get the fuck away from me. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you just on principle.
Shit.
And so there was that, and that was creepy as hell. And I walked out of there with the oogies. I don't get ooged out my butt, but that gave me the oogies.
Yeah.
And on one of the first shows, the morbid episode, which I think is episode 1 or 2 of Forever for Tales from the Crawl Space, was I had an apartment in Martinsburg where, to make a long story short, this African lady had her mother over from the old country, and the younger of the two would go to work every day, and the mother would stay home. And now apparently this mother passed away while at the apartment, and they were born-again Christians. So this woman thought that if she prayed over her mother's dead body enough and kept her face lotioned up, that God would bring her back. And I was treating the house, and the house had this nasty smell to it. As I'm going through the kitchen, there's nothing there that smells. Going into the spare bedroom, there's a cot that wasn't made back up, but someone was sleeping in it, but nothing in there smelled. When I got back to the back bedroom and I opened the door, there's enough light coming in around the shades that were drawn that you could kind of see in the room, and I see a silhouette of a body in the bed. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And no one responded. So I got brave, took the wand on my B&G and flipped the switch up on the wall, and it was a dead woman, an old dead lady in the bed. So that was kind of rough for that.
Yeah.
Day. So yeah, I've had a dead body and the pedophile. So those were my creepy houses.
Okay, Jack, you promised everybody the Beech Madafaka story.
I did, but first, what I want to do is I was remiss in not doing this at the beginning of the episode. I want to thank my son JT for the custom intros and for the regular intros that he's done for this show. And I mean, on short notice, I'm like, dude, I need one for the Christmas show. And he's like, I'll get right on it. And he produces these awesome fucking intros. So JT, I love you. You are the best thing that's ever happened to me. And thank you so much for everything you've done for Tales from the Crawl Space.
JT, you have my immense respect, and you are awesome. Please keep doing it for us. Please. Please.
Definitely. Now, for the Christmas part of the show, I have put together the Beech Madafaka Christmas in the style of "Twas the Night Before Christmas." So, are you ready?
Just listen to, just imagine little jingle bells going on in the background as Jack's saying this.
Oh, yes. So, 'twas the day before Christmas Eve when all through the branch manager's ass smelled like buffalo wings and ranch. Techs were out working, rodent callbacks galore, when in walked the office manager right through the door. She turned up her nose at the horrible smell, waved her hand by her face, and exclaimed, "What the hell?" I said, "It's a half day and the phones are dead. Let's call past due customers so we can get ahead." She printed the list of non-payments from the fall, but little did I know who I was about to call. An African lady from Washington, D.C., who signed for the service but assumed it was free. She answered the phone and I introduced myself, explained the debt. She told me to go fuck myself. She claimed she never signed, so I asked for her name. It's the same one on the contract. She was playing games. I explained our collections policy, something we didn't want to do. So she called me an asshole and a nasty bitch, too. I told her that wasn't nice to speak to me that way, and I would hang up the phone just to call another day. She told me to eat shit and scream something else, so I hung up the phone and I laughed to myself. The phone rang almost immediately, and a younger woman said, "Don't harass my mom. You're sick in the head. We don't owe you money. I can barely afford college." So I told her that her mom must have signed without her knowledge. She said her mom's a Christian and would never curse. She'll turn the other cheek, even at her worst. I explained what I was told, what her saintly mom had said, repeating every word, and explained what I did. She denied it all, said that I was a liar, and accusing such a woman would land me in hellfire. She yelled and proclaimed that she wouldn't pay. I hung up the phone, told her to have a great day. I took a deep breath and I filled my coffee cup. The phone rang again, so then I picked it up. On the other end of the line, I barely heard a sound. Then they screamed, "Beech Madafaka!" and put the phone down. Sue looked across the office at me, her eyes wide in fright. I told the African lady, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And I have to say, I ran that by Sue before I decided to air it. I ran it by Sue, and she's like, "That was spot on. That's exactly how it went." So that's an accurate depiction.
That is going to have its place in the Library of Congress before the next year is out. Jack, and that was a masterpiece.
It will be a fixture on the show every Christmas. How's that?
Oh, that's nice. Christmas traditions are important.
Of course they are. Oh, and speaking of traditions, I think the birthday of the Pest Control Humor Depot is coming up relatively soon, isn't it?
January 18th, 2023 will be our third year. And, we're planning on something really special. And I'm just saying that because I've had a couple of maker's marks. I don't know. I have no fucking clue what it's going to be. But we will figure something out and we will make it good. Speaking of traditions as well, I'd like to introduce you all to Mason Stewart. Mason Stewart is a regular listener to the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast, and he is also a great member of Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook. Nice. He is a multi-talented man, and because he can actually listen to a podcast, watch, check out the funny memes and stories on Pest Control Humor Depot with one hand, because he's obviously using his other hand for something else. We cut a little bit of the audio from his activities on there, and here they are.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Brad.
See, now Danny's got competition, and there's going to be a little bitch fight going on, and I'm kind of wondering how that's going to pan out.
Well, I got to tell you, Danny's going to have to up his game, because I'm going to put a challenge out to all the cheese bags and listeners to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. Send us your Bradgasms. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure Jack would as well.
Oh, yeah. And the easiest way to do that, since we're getting to that point, if you go to tftc.wtf, at the bottom corner, there's like a little microphone type thing where you can leave us a voicemail from the website. So if you're worried about giving out your phone number, you ain't got to worry about doing that. You can just do it straight from the website and leave your Bradgasms as voicemails. We'll play every single one of them to the point that Brad's arms are useless by the end of the show. He'll throw his robe open recklessly and wrestle with a pound of meat during the entire show.
I intend to be jerking up nothing but knee cartilage by the time this is done.
A little toe jam in there. But speaking of social media, you can get us at Crawl Space Tales on Twitter, TFTC Podcast on Instagram, TFTC 2.0 on TikTok, TFTC.WTF on our webpage, and as always, Pest Control Humor Depot with all the Mod Squad and the cheese bags, which are the foundation of this show, and all the great shit we get's coming from the cheese bags.
And let's not forget, Jack, the Google Voice.
Oh,
Nick. I know you're listening, Nick. The well-lubricated gauntlet has been thrown down. Mason has thrown it down. Be sure to call Google Voice at 571-888-5283. Danny, I miss you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, cheese bags galore. We are going to be on hiatus until the first week of January. We're going to take time to take care of our families and everything. And I personally hope everybody out there listening has the most amazing Christmas and New Year, a safe one as possible.
On behalf of everybody at Pest Control Humor Depot and the Mod Squad, you folks have the merriest Christmas that you could possibly fucking imagine.
Damn right. And just going along with that, just Merry Christmas and bug off.
Bug off. See you guys.
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawl Space Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.